Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Hey, I missed y'all. We are back. We are live in the light room. Let me set up my preliminaries. Come on now. We're not going to come back talking like that. Let me set things up so that everybody can come on in, join in. You know the drill. Check in with your green hearts. Go ahead and share this live with your family, friends, foes, relatives, coworkers, whoever needs to learn about connections, about relationships. And before I get to telling you why we're talking about what we're talking about, go ahead and share the live. Go ahead and get people in here. If you're joining from the San Antonio Meet and Greet group, hey, welcome in. You should be able to view this live from my page or Vernon's page. I'm going to tag the group in the comment section on my page so that we can all be connected. Let me tag Vernon as well. So you'll see me doing a little preliminary. So maybe I should stop saying preliminary. Okay. I forgot I did that. But anyway, let me tag him. He's already in the green room, ready to come into the light room. But we don't want him coming in here talking to just me. I want him to be able to talk to you as well. So go ahead and share this live. Get in on the conversation. Share this conversation with your friends. Share this conversation with your family. Bring your questions. Bring your comments. This is an open discussion. So we welcome your feedback. And we want to hear what you have to say. There we go. So the meet and greet group has been tagged. Vernon has been tagged. So if you see this live on my page or his, you should be able to connect with us. Welcome to the light room. I missed y'all. Happy 2025. Happy New Year. Happy January. All the happiness, right? Happy relationships, right? We're going to change the dynamics of the way we've been thinking about relationships in these past few years, man. Like I said on the video earlier, the way we were going at each other's neck, 24, 23, I'm just like, where is the love, guys? Where is the love? Men need to do this. Women need to do that. We may have some things that we need to do individually, but there's also some things we need to do collectively. And so this season series has been dedicated to relationships, all aspects of relationships. And we're opening up talking about the importance and the benefits of social connection. So go ahead, share this live with your friends. We are back live. Welcome to the light room. I missed y'all. I'm happy to see y'all. I'm happy to have this conversation with such an awesome person. Of course, you know how I do. I introduce the guests how I know them, and then I allow him to introduce himself to everybody. But come on. As my grandbaby say, come on in the room. Come on in the room. Let's have this conversation. Welcome to the light room. I am Coach Quita D, your certified mental health advocate and life coach. I am not a therapist, but I know a lot of therapists. And I want to get you connected to a therapist if that's what you need. If you don't want to go to therapy, we have life coaches, right? We have mentors. We have all the things. We have some people that'll tell you like it is, and they don't have no degrees, no certification. They just been qualified by life. So come on in the space. We are here. Remember to put your comments. Drop your comments into the Facebook section. We'll answer whatever questions to the best of our abilities. But I want you to enjoy this conversation. We had a little pre-conversation. So what you're going to get here is good. And I also want to say, like, if you're from small towns all over the world, I definitely came from a small town. And I moved to a couple of big cities, Memphis being the first one. You want to be a part of this conversation. There are challenges that come with leaving close-knit areas. That's what I'm going to say versus small town. There are challenges that come with moving from close-knit areas to really wide spaces. So from small towns to big cities. Come on in here. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to bring Vernon into the live. But before I bring him into the live, I want you to share this live. Share this live with your friends. Share it in your groups. Share it in your family groups, chats. Share it in your Facebook chats. Share it everywhere there are people. If you're from San Antonio, you need to be in this live. Okay.
I found this on the web for where there are people if you're...
Even Siri wants to be a part of the live. That's not what this is about. But welcome to the light room. Come on in. I am about to bring Vernon into this live space. Bring him into this live space so we can have this good old conversation about relationships. Remember, you can put your comments your questions, whatever you would like to share. Welcome to the Light Room. I am Marquita Dorsey, your host with the most. Let me bring him to the stage. Coming to the stage. If I had drums, I would do like a drum roll, but I don't have drums. So I'm just going to bring him to the stage. And there we are on the stage. We have Vernon on the stage. Go ahead, check into the Light Room with your green hearts so that we know you are here. We are live. I know it's been a minute since we've had a Facebook Live, but guess what? We're here now. We're back. And I want you to be a part of this conversation. So, hey, Vernon, welcome to the conversation.
Hey! Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
More than welcome. Of course, I tell people all the time on my social media space, I use social media for what it is. And that's for connecting, that's for finding resources, that's for finding people, places, and things that's going to be of great benefit. And so through this social media connection and space, all things, here we are. Now, we were already connected on social media. Lord knows, I don't even know how. I'm always connecting with people. I'm always making friends because that's just what it is. But through that initial connection, we made a greater connection with the meet and greet group. So that's how I know, Vernon. We were able to have a very brief conversation when you first moved here, and you had questions about San Antonio, about the culture, about the community. And they were very good questions. And I had no idea that what you would do next would be what I've been so happy to be a part of. So I'm glad you came. I'm glad you asked those questions, and I'm glad we're about to have this conversation. But that's how I met Vernon, right? Through social media. Okay, we were Facebook friends, and then we met in real life, right? And now he is part of something so much bigger and so much greater that I don't even think he realized how good it is. But that's how I know Vernon. And so now I will allow Vernon to introduce himself. Tell the people whatever you want them to know now. Let him introduce himself to you all, and then we'll get the conversation started.
All right. So yeah, my name is Vernon Shank. I'm currently in Honduras on a mission. I'm a military officer in the Army, and I got to San Antonio around July of last year, and I was moved there from El Paso, my last duty station, and so I got to San Antonio, and then I heard that I was going to be sent on a mission out here in Honduras to basically lead all of the contracting stuff for the government and for all the U.S. operations out here. So I'm a contracting officer with the Army, and so yeah, I've been here since September 23rd, and I'll be back in March. So can't wait to get back. But I only had a small bit of time between July and September to start the group. And, it was just part of my time to like try to get into San Antonio, make friends and stuff like that. And I just was asking questions, and people was just like, San Antonio, I don't like it. It's boring. It's dead. And I would just remember thinking like, man, this is the number seven largest city in the country, but people just seem to like it. But I thought it was great, so I just decided to create the group to give people opportunity to come together and connect with each other. And I knew that, I've done this in other places I've been, but I knew that just coming together was a big part of making the city great, making the city something to be proud of, and making the city fun. It all comes from the people. And so I've been, grace of God that the group grew up, it blew up because I think there was a big need for it. And people joined, and we kept the group safe and healthy for everybody, and it just continued to grow. And so I'm loving to see the connection and the community that we've been able to grow with the group. So hopefully it's helping people on a personal level as well, deal with some isolation, loneliness, and uh, and that's pretty much it. So that's me. I got 15 years in the Army. I'll be out in actually 4 more years, and I'll be retired. So I enjoy service.
Retirement.
Yeah. So I enjoy service to the country, and I enjoy serving people as well in my personal life. So I'm glad to be here. I'm glad the group is helping people, and when I get back, I want to continue moving forward and doing more things for the city and for the people. So that's it.
So good to hear. And sorry I had my head down. I realized um for whatever reason my video was only set to only me. So shout out to my mama for texting me because she gonna be on the live if nobody else is there. My mama gonna be on the live, and so it wasn't showing because it was only for me. But I just updated it to public, and I commented in the group that we are live. So now everybody, that good old intro that I did that nobody saw but me and Vernon, you're gonna have to watch that on the replay when you subscribe to YouTube, and you can watch the replay. But we're already live. We're already in the conversation. He just did an amazing job of introducing himself. First of all, you're not even in the country, and we're running this group, and we're meeting up soon again, and you're not even in the country. Man, that really speaks volume to who you are and what you've created. And so I'm gonna come back around to that, but I just had to shout that out after hearing you say that. And then also too, thank you for your service in the military and in the community for the work that you do. So I love our active duty and our veterans. I have a family full. I'm part of that contractual military work that you talk about. So I'm here for it. So we're going to go ahead and let me do a little bit more cleanup. So to those of you who are just joining us, I am Marquita Dorsey, mental health advocate. Let me do it right. Certified mental health advocate and coach. And I want to welcome you to the Light Room. In this space, we educate, empower, and equip you with the knowledge, skills, tools, and resources to advocate for your mental health. And this season, we're talking about relationships. We're having meaningful conversations about relationships. And so, as I told Vernon before, 2024, 23, it was very disheartening to see how much separation was between us. And if you haven't noticed, I'm Black. More specifically for me, the African American Black community. We had the whole 50-50 conversation. We had the men ain't doing this and women aren't doing that. And it was just such a great divide. And then when meeting Vernon and him asking about the city, about culture, about community, I had no idea what was coming next. And I'm so glad that we have him. I'm so glad that he has initiated this change, initiated this amazing group. All right. So he's already introduced himself. And now we're just going to, again, jump into this conversation. And so we're talking about relationships, social interactions, connections, and then mental health. Everything that we do in the Light Room always ties back around to mental health. Because at any age, any stage in life, your mental health can and sometimes will be affected. So with that, Vernon, I'll ask, with the protection of your own privacy, so that means share whatever limits you want to, have you had any challenges with mental health or, mental illness or any concerns like that?
I would say growing up, my grandmother raised me. My mom and dad was not in my life due to drug and substance abuse stuff. So I would say as a child, I had a little bit of trouble with just coping with that. But my grandmother did, and all the rest of the family did a fantastic job with us, me and my sister and my brother. And so, I think doing the self-awareness and the work, I found out maybe in my 30s, I did some work and found out that, I had some abandonment issue stuff that I had to get through, and I got through that. I really did. And so, and then, I joined the military, no wife, no kids, and then I'm moving around to places where I don't know anybody. So I know how that feels, when you go to a place you don't know anybody and you have to start from scratch building some sense of community with people. And so, struggle with that a bit, not being stable, not being able to maintain some of my relationships, both intimate and friends. And so I just learned how to cope with that and just learned to kind of enjoy the journey of life, enjoy the people, and the people who are special will be there no matter where you go, and the people who are not won't. So I'm just enjoying the ride, enjoying life, enjoying people, enjoying helping people. So yeah, I would say those are probably the biggest challenges I have with mental health. But nothing too serious. I grew up in the church, going every Sunday, so I always had a good relationship with God. It kept me strong, even when I deployed to Afghanistan. I kept him, came back intact, strongest relationship I've had with God is coming back from that. And I just want to help people. Just want to help people be great, be connected, love each other, support each other. And that's what life is all about at the end of the day. All the stuff we accumulate, we can't take it with us. What's going to matter at the end is the relationships we built, experiences we had, and most importantly, how we help people and we help the next generation because we're all part of a cycle. So yeah, that's hopefully I answered the question.
You did. And one of the things that I liked about your response to the question was how you went back to childhood. And I know sometimes for adults, it's difficult for them to see where it started. As an adult, like some of the, and negative and positive, but some of the challenges that we experience in our mental health didn't just start when we were adults. It didn't just start today. You can trace it back. You can trace it back to something that happened in your childhood. And it really depends on how you process that when it happens, or when you process that at the moment you realize that what has happened has truly affected you. And it sounds like you've done an amazing work of realizing, how some of those things did affect you or could affect you. And you've done the work to, I'm going to say, open up your heart, right?
Yep.
Because sometimes when people are neglected, people are not taken care of by primary caregivers, it really can shut you down, and it can make you cold-hearted, and it can make it difficult to share. And you join the military. Right? You joined the military to serve your country, and then you moved here, to this city and decided to serve us. And so with that, I'll ask this question. Without the apparent, what does service really mean to you? What is service for Vernon?
See, service to me is I think it's the purpose of life. If you really think about it, when you're serving people, you feel good. When you're serving people, you feel like you have purpose, right? So service is very important. And what I kind of noticed, kind of like in 2020 during COVID, I saw people, having to be stuck in their homes for 2 years. And there was a big talk of the asterisk of self-love, self-help, self-care. And I think that's great. But I think what we all probably, what happened to us and we didn't realize it was that we started to lose our ability to socialize and connect with people because we were isolated from people for 2 years. And, if you don't use that social muscle, you lose it. So along with that, you lose the service. You lose a lot of things that come with people helping people, engaging with people. And so I'm kind of on the quest to try to get people back into that mindset of service. And sometimes, and the main ingredient to that is talking to people. You have to talk to people. You have to understand that people have a story, and they're not nothing to be afraid of. Like people have a story. We all need love. We all need support, and service is about engaging with people. So we got to get back to engagement and asking people how's their day, asking them how they're doing, giving them a compliment, asking them if they want to go out. We got to get back to that. I think we lost that during COVID, and I'm on a campaign to try to get that back.
I'm so glad you said that. And it's funny because I never really considered myself like a socialite or anything like that. But as I developed and as I grew, I realized how vital it was. You have to be. And, we've talked about this before, the benefit. And I'm going to call it a benefit. I'm going to call it what it is. And I used to tell my clients in Memphis, like, what they're paying me to do, to teach y'all, is really home training. This is how we were raised in Mississippi. And so the benefit for being raised the way that I was raised and having the ability to connect to people, and like you said, realize and understand that they have a story too, to be more interested in people, right? Instead of trying to be interesting, just be more interested in people and sharing their stories. You'll be amazed at the people you meet And not just their life will be impacted and changed, your life can be impacted and changed
Yeah.
just by listening to their story. And I know you talked about your grandmama a lot, but I didn't know, of course, like the other details as to why you talked about your grandma so much. So thank you for even sharing that in this space. But the getting away from the social interactions, and you'll see like therapists talk about it. You will see articles written about it, how social skills are lacking bad. And it don't just show up like in the friendships and relationships. Customer service has always been a challenge, right? But even the more now when you have people who went through COVID, a very traumatic incident for the world. You lost people that you love so dearly because maybe you visited their house and you didn't know you had COVID and you gave them COVID. Whole families being, wiped out from this condition. And so it created social anxiety. It created generalized anxiety. It created all kind of other challenges that some people never had. And so the group that you created, tell us about this group that you created, because I saw a question as well about the group, but tell us about this group that you created. I know about it, but not everybody listening knows. Tell us about the group.
Yeah. So the group is called Meet and Greet San Antonio, and that's literally what it was. I remember when I came here, I was like, "Hey, is there a place to go to meet people and greet people?" They was like, "No." I was like, "Is there anything like just really focused on getting people to like meet each other?" I was like, "No." And everybody was like, "You want to start something? Start." So I started it. Right? It's literally just a Facebook group that I thought was just a way to get people connected that I knew that were struggling to connect with people. Just put them in there, try to have some engaging stuff on, and all of a sudden, I think around like maybe like July, late July, August. No, it was August, September. It just kind of blew up. Like I think we had our first meet and greet. 23 people came. Second one, we had over 100 people came, and then the third one, I think 150 plus came. So it just kept growing, and it's just because people just wanted, they craved the connection, and they wanted to meet people. And I was surprised to see how many people in San Antonio were transplants from other areas. We have a very diverse city. We got people from all different regions of the country. You got people from different parts of the world. You got different ethnicities. I mean, it's amazing the diversity we have. And so, but to see everybody so separated, I think people were craving like the connection. And I think this group kind of, I think, hit the mark with getting people together in a safe space, allowing them to connect. And then we kind of did our job, me and the moderators, to kind of just make sure that we facilitated that at the events, help people out. I have an amazing moderator group that is holding things down right now while I'm here. But getting good pictures and marketing to show people in the group, hey, we are out, we are connecting, and then it made them want to come out more, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And the key to that, I think, too, is the love that we share at our events. It's very warm, it's very welcoming. I'm from Alabama, so I know the Southern hospitality, and you're from Mississippi, so I know how that is. I just wanted to bring that love to San Antonio and let people know, like, hey, it's okay to love and support one another and have fun, and that's where the fun of a city comes, is from the people. So if the city isn't fun, it means the people are not fun. So let's be fun, and then our city will be fun. And I was like very, getting kind of upset about people saying, oh, you got to go to Austin and Houston to have fun. I was like, nah, we're gonna have fun in San Antonio. We're gonna make San Antonio great.
That's
We want
right.
people coming from Houston and Austin to San Antonio. So let's take this city by storm and let's do what we want to do with it. Let's make it fun. So just that energy, of like taking pride in the city, I brought that, and I think everybody's bringing it. And so yeah, the group is amazing. I love to see the people connecting on it. People have made friends that they haven't made friends in years. People feel like they're getting their life back on track because of that group. They met awesome people that have been in their corners for them in very tough times, and so I'm just really glad I'm able to make a difference with that group. And yeah, I appreciate everybody that supports the group that's in there. Hopefully, it's helping you out, and that's it. That's the group.
That's it, man. Thank you for sharing that. And again, when we had our initial conversation and you were asking about that, I definitely was like, listen, San Antonio is what it is. And I've had my challenges as well. And part of it could be how I've handled things. San Antonio was a place of peace for me. I tell people that this is one of the most peaceful places that I've lived in, that I've been. And it's more of a personal, internal peace. But then when I got ready to go outside and see people, it was like, oh, this is also one of the most challenging places. Because, you see on Facebook people saying, like, it's hard to make friends. It's hard to stay connected. And I was like, can't be that hard, right? Like, it can't be that hard to make friends and connect to people. It has its challenges, but again, I'm in a lot of groups in this city. I'm in a couple of groups in this city, and by far, this has been one of the best groups that I've been in the almost 4 years time that I've been here. And I think what has made this group so productive, and we've gotten such a great result, just listening to how you explained what the group is, why it was started, and the results from it. It allows everybody into the space, right? Everybody who wants to be in the space. And I know sometimes people talk about their social anxiety and how it's difficult for them to connect to people when we have the big events, because the events are big. I've been to every event that we've had.
Yeah, you have. You've
So
been
far.
there.
I've been to every event, and I've been impressed. I've been impressed with every event. So again, kudos. Thank you. And again, guys, if you have questions for Vernon, there was a question. I gotta find a question. If you have questions for Vernon or myself, if there's anything you would like to add to the conversation, absolutely put that in the comment section, and we will highlight your questions so that we can get those answered. But we need that. He said he want people from Houston and Dallas coming to San Antonio, and you're right, because listen, I be trying to leave San Antonio to find some real good fun. It is a beautiful city.
Yeah.
But it has its challenges. This is also the first place that I've lived in where I've met somebody and I'll never see him again. Like, never see him again.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I've been stationed to some places that were not the best, very small. And I tell people, like, you don't really know how good you got it in San Antonio, because I've been to some places, especially coming from the rural South, man, it's miserable. There's nothing there, and I think sometimes we forget to be appreciative of what we got, because we got an international airport, we got malls, we got, all these things we take for granted. And like I said, we may not have everything like a Houston, but the thing is, what really makes a place exciting is the people.
It's the people.
Like, you can have a barbecue, you can have a house gathering, and that place would be amazing, right? So I think we're relying too much on the city to make us have fun, when really we should be relying on each other to have fun. Yeah, it's I understand how challenging San Antonio can be, but you also got to look at, it could be worse. We could be in a much worse place where there's nothing there, and it would be tough. But we are in a place where we have a good bit, and we can make the best of it. So let's make the best of it, and the city's growing too. So it's gonna grow, and it's gonna transform into something great. And I think right now we got the time to, like, make it what we want it. There's like nothing in the way. You got a lot of entrepreneurs, you got a lot of people starting things, and so we can make the city what we want it. And that's what I really like about it. It's a blank canvas. It's growing, and we have the opportunity to make it what we want. So let's connect people, and let's start having fun and making a difference, do community service. So we got a lot of different things we're trying to do in the future to help the city grow. And I'm just type of person, like, this is where I'm going to retire. So I'm like, if this one will retire, I'm closing on my house next month. I want this place to be someplace fun and exciting, and a place where I can have a sense of family and community, and everybody else can too. So yeah, I just love it. I'm happy that everything's working out, and again, I'm glad that I'm able to serve people with the group.
I'm going to ask a question.
Okay.
And I'm just listening to your comments. Number one, it's so refreshing to hear you speak the way you're speaking about one, a city that you weren't even born in. Like you're not even from here, but you were transplanted here. And I feel like that about Memphis though. Like I love Memphis. And so it's very refreshing to hear you talk about San Antonio in such a way, and even just the people and your desires. And I guess that would speak to Lydia's question. How do you see the group in the future? But I just want to give you flowers for your positivity, right? And for even having a vision. But my question is, have you always been like this? Like, or how did you get to a point where you have such a it's bigger than that perspective?
Oh boy, it's a lot. I'm gonna try to sum this up. The answer is no. When I was younger, I actually had social anxiety. A lot of people wouldn't even think that, but I did. I didn't know that I was an extrovert, but I was being introverted and isolated. So I know what people feel when they say they're isolated. I really do know how that feels. It's a very dark place. It's a very lonely place, and people try to hide that. But it's real. Loneliness is an issue, and so I went through that for a while. And then I remember going to D.C. I was working at the Pentagon. I was like, man, I'm in the best city, the capital of the country, and I'm stuck in the house on a weekend. And I just remember crying on Friday night. I just cried on the floor, like, man, like I'm tired of this. I'm tired of staying in the house, being afraid. Like I'm going to get out. And I was just so angry. I was like, I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna be social and I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna have friends, and I did. I went out, I got through that initial fear. I learned little skills along the way of how to start a conversation, how to keep it going. And next thing you know, I was starting my own group there and it blew up. So that's when I first had success with just starting my own space because I saw other people wasn't creating a space that was loving and supportive like I thought. So I said, well, I'll just create my own. And then it blew up. And then that's when I realized later I was an extrovert. And I was so sad because I wasn't being what my natural personality was. I was supposed to be an extrovert and I didn't know how to do it. And so after that, I just been on the quest. Everywhere I would be stationed, I would just start a group and bring people in and have fun, and I just kept doing it everywhere I went. And so yeah, I wasn't always like this. I know how it feels personally to be isolated, lonely, not knowing anybody, scared. I know those feelings. So that's why I always motivate people to come out. We're gonna take you. I'm gonna give you a hug. I'm gonna make sure you're connected with somebody. I hug everybody that comes in or dap them up individually because I want people to feel that sense of love and spread it. So, but I wasn't always like this. And then it is a thing of love, right? You have to love people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think a lot of people may have been through some tough situations with people in their past, and they stop loving people, right? You can't stop loving people. That's why this group is great because it's nothing but love flowing through it. And so you got to show love, and that's the secret ingredient to social connection is love. You have to love the people that are around you. They're struggling just like the rest of us. They trying to make it just like the rest of us. We're all brothers and sisters as humans. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get back to loving people and stop letting the social media and the discord like get into our head. We got to get out of the phones, out of that toxic stuff online and TikTok, and we got to get outside, start talking to people and loving on people again. So I think we really forgot that. The secret is love. That's the key. So I love everybody. I want everybody to have a good time. I want everybody to have a good life, happy life. You know what I mean? So it's bigger than just this stuff, right? At the end of the day, we're all going to get old. We're all going to pass away. And I think when you start thinking like that, you start focusing on what's important in your life. The big game is life. You only got a short amount of time. If you're not spending that time helping people, loving each other, and creating memories and helping the next generation, you're wasting your life. So that's all that stuff kind of came to me, with God, and that's it. I just started going on the quest to like make my life worth something by helping and having fun and creating memories. So when I'm 80, 90 years old, I can look back and say, you know what? I used my time wisely. I did the thing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got it. I'm out. Because we just all temporary here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know it's kind of deep, but I
I'm
had to.
smiling like a proud auntie. Like I'm just like, yeah, go ahead. Listen, I'm telling you, I couldn't have started this live this season in a better way. You literally have spoke the sentiments of my heart. Like my friends already know. I sound like you when I'm talking to my friends. But I believe just the way you just said it, we cannot do this without one another. We should not do this without one another. And I love how when people do post in the group about, having social anxiety and they being nervous about the bigger groups, how you come in and you provide not only just that loving support, but directive. You educate, you empower, and you equip, right there in that group, giving tools, giving, like, playing games, and it has been amazing to watch. It has been good to watch. So thank you for sharing your heart space about why this group was created, the journey to this group, and then, to everybody that's listening, let this really be a lesson. The purpose of life is purpose, service, not just to yourself, but to other people, and we should learn to serve well. And so I don't know if we answered Lydia's question or not. And I know you've said some things that could probably speak to it, but I just want to give a chance before I move to the next question, because there was another question. And she said, how do you see the group in the future?
That's a good question. So me and the moderators, we were talking about this a few times in our chat, but um, a couple things I'm thinking. One is, I always do like feedback from the group after we do an event. I'm like, how could we improve or whatever, right? And everybody gave good feedback. And one of the things was, we need to kind of have more dedicated events where our group members can come and connect with each other. Because right now we're going into like public spaces and we're allowing everybody to kind of do their own connection. But some people struggle with that on their own. So we need to have kind of our own venues, own events where we can cultivate connection with our members a little bit intimately, with activities and events and things like that. So that's one thing we want to do. We just got to find good venues that we can secure that can give us that space. The second thing I was thinking about too is community service, right? We got to get out into the community and start making a difference in our city, right? So let's find some initiatives that need support through volunteerism and things like that, and let's kind of get involved in those things. So we're not just a group that's just meeting up to hang. We're actually out doing something meaningful to make a difference for our city. Another thing I was thinking about is like bringing some events, curating some events that we don't have in the city that maybe other cities have, like poetry nights. We did a post about like what talents do people have, and it's a lot of people with talents in our city, and it's like crazy. And I just kept seeing poets. I kept seeing poetry. I do poetry, and I'm like, I haven't been to a nice poetry night. Like, what happened to those? You know what I mean? So
I
I'm
love
like,
a good poetry night.
we need to bring that. And I know I was talking to one of the moderators about, looking at Trist and like, what can we do at Trist? And it's a nice venue. Maybe we can get a nice little intimate poetry night or, some talent type event where we can do that. Um, and I think that was kind of some of the stuff that hit me. But I mean, we can do anything we want with our group. It's up to the people. Let's bring the ideas. Let's see what they say and let's try to do it, right? Because it ain't just us coming up with this or me. I want it to be our space. Like we all come up with ideas and we can do it. There's nothing stopping us from doing it. We talked about some T-shirts and merch, maybe later down the line. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's just some of the initial things.
I love it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see it. Shout out to the moderators. Shout out to the team. Shout out to you for building a team. Because I think another issue that we have too with some of the other groups, it's only one person running the group. And if you have real life and other things going on, you can definitely lose sight of the group. But like I said, you're in Honduras and we're gonna beat this weekend. But like this thing has gone on like a well-oiled machine because you have
Yes.
other people who share the vision, who share the mission. So again, shout out to the moderators. How did you pick the moderators? Like, or were there requirements for people being moderators?
It's funny. Actually, I think at the first and second meetups, they all came to me and was like, Vernon, we want to help. Like, what do you want us to do? We're here to support. And just like that, like, they just came and I was like, all right, well, these people want to help. So why not bring them onto the team and let them do it? And they've just been I think I got lucky. I picked the right people. They all get along. It's amazing. So yeah, shout out to the moderators. I appreciate them keeping things down, keeping things going while I'm away. I'm kind of sad I'm not there, but I'm happy that they're handling things and they care about everybody as much as I do. They go out their way for people, and um, yeah, it's just like the moderators are great. So yeah, I'll be back soon though. But hey, they got it. I mean, I got the dream team. They good.
Yep, you left us in good hands. They do a good job. Shout out to Rich. He definitely makes himself known at the events, and he, try to keep everybody together and connected, and moving people around. Elena has a question as well. She says, "How do you advise people that show up alone at the meet and greet that are shy? How should they approach people?" And I think that was a recent post in the group as well.
Okay, so it's really your mind, right? That's what I had to learn. You gotta ask yourself, why am I shy? What am I afraid of, right? And like I said, what helped me was you got to have love for people, and you have to see things from just a life perspective. So if you say, okay, I love people, I want to show love for people, and you looking to serve people, you'll go up to somebody and say hi. Like you go up to an event, you smile, and I always tell people like it's little tricks of how you can initiate a conversation, right? I use the compliment technique. Hey, girl, I like that hair. You got pretty hair. Who does your hair? Start off with a compliment and then a question, right? Hey, how you doing? I like that shirt. Where did you get that from? Like your hair. Who does it? You know, that starts off a good conversation because you're complimenting someone. So everybody will appreciate a compliment. And then you ask them a question. So that starts the conversation about the compliment, the thing you complimented on. And then that helps, right? Another thing, if you come to our events, the moderators, I'm always telling, hey, moderators, like, go up to one of the moderators and say hi or something. They're there for you. You know what I mean? So find one of them and say hi and thank you for having me. This is great. You can do that. But I would say the key thing is like just some people take a little shot, they drink a little bit before they go out so they can loosen up. I ain't gonna say you shouldn't do that. You can do that. Go to the bar, get your drink. If you need to loosen up, that helps too.
Yeah.
Come if you come alone. Find somebody else that's kind of alone out there, and just be like, hey, you ask questions. I always tell people like if you want to start a good conversation, ask a question. Hey, how are you from San Antonio? Or, um, you know, uh, do you come here often? And excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like, I like that, a compliment. So it's just different ways to do it. But the key thing is you got to understand in your mind that where's this fear coming from? It could be insecurity. It could be you're afraid somebody's going to reject you. They're going to think you're weird. It don't You got to get that out of your head. You got to go in there and say, you know what? I am fun. I am, a great person to get to know. and I'm not going to wait for nobody to talk to me. I'm going to go to them and say hi. Sometimes you just say hi. Hey,
Yeah.
hi. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, but I always say the best tip would be the compliment technique and the question technique. You know, to kind of get that going. And most people are gonna respond well to it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've met some people in the group, and I think like probably one of the encounters was that a compliment plus a question. And it
Yeah.
really started our conversation. I know one person that I met in the group, like we connect. We had our conversation over one of my favorite movies, and it really blew my mind because one, that has never happened, and then two, 'cause once I tell you my movie, you understand. But we're adults, and we're like flabbergasted and laughing over Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, right? So that's like by far one of my favorite movies, and the person said something on the movie, and I was like, hold on now, what you know about that? And so we began to just do lines from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and sparked the whole conversation, sparked laughter. I even met a guy who has the same last name as me. Well, he was in the group initially, and like we saw each other at one of the
Yeah.
events, and we took a picture and everything.
Dorsey. Dorsey. I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
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 He's
And
cool
he
guy.
look, I'm telling you, Chris, you might really be my cousin because he looked like my granddaddy folks. So Chris might really be my folks.
Might be your
And
folks.
yeah, he
Yeah.
might be my folks. And we from Mississippi, everybody's some kin all across the
Hmm.
world. So, but it really is. I'll say, and when I moved to Memphis for the second time, which was 2015, that was what I had to do.
Hmm.
I moved back that second time, and I was like, listen, I have to create a life for myself out here. If I'm going to live in this city, I need to get to know people. I need to network because I knew the value of networking. And I learned that as an AmeriCorps member, the value of networking and knowing people and sharing your gifts and sharing community service. And so I went to a vision board party with the Urban League of Young Professionals. I didn't know a soul in the room, but I went on one of the sites and I found like things to do in Memphis, and the Urban League was having a vision board party. All you had to do was show up. They had all the supplies and everything. And I
Yeah.
did. I showed up, just cute, didn't know a soul in the room, made my vision board, met some people, but that gave me the confidence I needed to maneuver around Memphis like I was born there. And
Yeah.
so you're right. You have to get in your head that one, you're interesting, and there are interesting things that you have to learn. And so once you do that, you see somebody, a hat, a shirt, the hair, the location that you're in, like the event that you're in, what brought you to this event. And before
Mhm.
you know it, you'll be having, conversations in
Yeah.
person, over the phone, whatever the case that may be. So thank you for those tips.
Another tip I saw, and I think it's great, is people before they go to an event be like, "Hey, I'm coming along. Like, does anybody want to meet up before we go, or somewhere
Mhm.
else? Maybe a few people, or they'll ask, hey, I'm going along. Anybody?" And every time somebody say, "Girl, I'll go with you. Yeah, like I'll see you there," or let's go to a coffee shop before we go, and everybody just jump in and help people, and I like that. Like I think so. Sometimes if you feel it's afraid, just put it in the group in discussion
Yeah.
area. Just be like, "Hey, I'm going along. Anybody wanna accompany me or wanna connect before we go or something like that?" And I guarantee you somebody's gonna say, "Yeah, I'll meet you." It's just that's the sense of community, right? Everybody feels like community, and that's what happens. Everybody doesn't hesitate. Nobody hesitates to help somebody out because we all feel like family. You know what I mean? So
I am really excited about what's brewing and what's growing within this group and also within the city. Like I said, the vision that you have for it, the things that you and the team are working on for the servitude of the people, and I am seeing the result. You see groups being created within the group. And even that, the fact that you encourage groups to be created within the group. Sometimes people only want, no, this is my group. Don't be creating groups for my group. But the fact that you encourage people to create their own groups, like the young lady who did the ladies group in Lock and Terror. And I hate I missed it, but I wasn't back in the city yet. And then Damien did the art night. It's in the other room, but
Yeah.
I took my cousins to the art night and they had a good time. Like, just it's been good. It has been really, really good. So kudos again to you and the team. And I know it's not an easy feat because, like me, you're not from here. So to come to a city with the 7th largest city in the nation and growing, so to come here and make such a big place, still feel like a close-knit, connected family.
Yeah.
That says a lot about you, sir.
Hey,
That
I just
says
care
a
about
lot.
people. It don't matter if I know them or not. I just care about people. So hey, once you care about people, it don't matter. All that stuff don't matter. Everybody, people are people. So
That's it.
yeah.
And everybody has a story. Everybody has some things they've had to overcome. And so again, like in Mental Health Mondays, I didn't just want to talk about the mental illnesses part of it. And we know that's a real part too. But I've always wanted us to see life from a perspective that I'm going to leave here one day.
Yeah.
But what am I leaving behind when I leave?
Yeah.
And so
That's the key.
leaving a community, a growing community. You got people in the group that have children, then the children connect. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all really creating something here. You get the mothers and the fathers and the married couples, and they create more community and bigger community. Now their children create community in that same space, the same way that we have. So it's not a light thing. And I believe that that's what purpose is. And I believe that the intentionality would definitely deliver some results that's TV worthy at some point. You don't have to go on. I don't watch the news, but whatever the news station is out here.
I don't know, man. It might. It might.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever the success of the group brings, hey, man, I'm all for it. As long as we're having a good time and we're helping each other. We got businesses reaching out saying, hey, man, y'all come over here. Y'all come over here. And I'm like, I try to let the group decide, like, because I'm the type of leader. I'm more of a democratic leader. So I like to get feedback from the team and feel like we all made the decision and they have buy-in. So I'm the type of person, I just ask the group, like, what y'all think and what y'all want, and serve the people. So it ain't about me. It's about the people. So and you learn that from the military, being a Army officer and stuff. You learn about leadership and stuff. So I just want to make sure that I don't want the group to be about me. I want it to be about the people in San Antonio, making the city better, and I can fade to the back for all I care. You know what I mean? As long as everybody having a good time watching it, good. I'm happy. So
That's
yeah,
good.
that's it.
That's Well, we appreciate it, sir. And we're gonna, I don't see any additional questions, and I think you've laid it out so well that not too many other questions to ask. If you're living in a small city, a big city, wherever, and you don't see what you need to see in your city, be like Vernon. Create it. All right. Create what you do not see. So you don't have to wait on nobody. And I love that you said we're waiting on the city to do these things when we can do it. And so I appreciate that we have this opportunity to grow as a community, to make San Antonio great, to make, this part of Texas. Drive down here, because we definitely be driving out there and over there to Houston and Dallas. Guilty.
Yeah, I
But
know.
but San Antonio, it is a beautiful city. There's a lot of outdoors things to do. If I love nothing else about San Antonio, in addition to the people, it's this weather. Now we're gonna bake you in the summer, but the air works too. But other than that, like, amazing weather. So definitely worth being down here for anybody that want to visit San Antonio. Are there any wrap-up comments or anything? How can people connect with you? Is there anything that people need to know about you before we, wrap up this conversation?
Just join the group, Meet and Greet San Antonio. I'm the admin there. You can drop my name or information anywhere on Facebook. Vernon Shank. That's it. You can connect with me there. It's probably the best place. And I'm open to talk to anybody and connect. So.
Okay. Well, We thank you for your service again to the city of San Antonio, to the United States of America as a military officer, 15 years and counting. Like, great. Um, we appreciate you in this space in the light room. Thank you for opening up with such a dynamic conversation, really speaking to an epidemic, really speaking to a problem, as we discussed earlier, and we didn't get much time to discuss it here, but loneliness is an epidemic. People are really out here living in the loneliness space. So thank you for curating a space where people don't have to feel lonely. They don't have to feel alone. They don't have to be alone. There are
Yes.
events happening. There's an event happening this weekend, right?
Yeah, yeah. Go out to the Moon's Daughter. That's our meet and greet for the year. A meet and greet social mixer. That's really how we grew the group. People going to those and having a good time. So please go out. I think we're like 215 people that's confirmed to come, and that's not including who fridge they're going to be bringing. So we might tear that place down. They might kick us out of there, but that's okay. Go on out there and have some fun, and meet people across your city, and don't be afraid. Get out there.
Don't be afraid. Okay. Well, thank you for your time in this space. I'm going to give it back to you for this good night. Sean says she'll see us there. I haven't RSVP yet because I wasn't sure, but I may be able to slide through there. I know we have Dream Week in the city as well. I am moderating the Black Men's Mental Health panel for Dream Week as well on Saturday morning. So to any men who have not registered, I'll drop that flyer again. Go ahead and register for that conversation. It's going to be a very awesome conversation. We have panelists, men and female, who are very qualified to speak on this conversation. I'm just going to be the one guiding the talk. So I look forward to it, and to all the other Dream Week events that we have in the city. Go out, patronize, support, show up. But you be safe over there, sir. You be safe over there. You get back to this city. Get back to this
Thank
city.
you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
thank you for being available.
Yeah, they're about to kick me up out of here. But yeah, it's been fun. It's been great, and I enjoyed. Okay, and so thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Tell them thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye, y'all.
All right, man. Thank you. And again, if you're in the city of San Antonio, we'll be at Moon's Daughter on Saturday. Check the meet and greet group for the details. If this is your first event, I hope you get to connect with some really nice people. Just show up, show your face. Again, people, I've been to every event that's been hosted by this group, and I have nothing but a good report for every group. Even with now, that parking was a little iffy, but even then he's found places with better parking. But other than that, it is a great experience. And I advise you, if you're struggling to make connections, you haven't met anybody, whether you're from San Antonio, you just moved to San Antonio, or you're visiting San Antonio this weekend, connect with the meet and greet group. We're going to be at Moon's Daughter. Thank you to the meet and greet group, all the members who showed up. And those of you who are going to watch the replay, you can still comment on the YouTube page in the replay. But I am Marquita Dorsey. You're a mental health advocate and coach. Anybody who's interested in being on the podcast that has something to add to the conversation, to the community, that will educate, empower, and equip, right? We don't have to live in silos. We don't have to struggle alone. The silence costs too much. There's no need for the silence. And you heard this man's heart. I'm overjoyed, right? Just to hear the things that I talk about amongst my friends and people I know. I'm just happy to hear somebody else thinking and feeling the same way. And not only is he thinking and feeling, he's actually putting his hand to the work. So shout out to Vernon Shank. Shout out to the moderators. Shout out to every individual in the San Antonio meet and greet group. If you're not in there, go ahead and join the group. I think we have over 6,000 members at this point. So add to the number, not just on the social media space, but at the events. You won't regret it. Thank you for an awesome session. This is just the beginning. It's going to get better and better and better. We're talking about relationships this entire season. We're going to February. Okay. We're going to talk about something. We're going to talk about religion. We're going to talk about spirituality. We're going to talk about parenting. We're going to talk about romantic relationships. We're going to talk about sex. We're going to talk about everything because all of those things can affect your mental health. And I just want you well so that you can live well, give well, and be well. Share this live. Okay, well, you probably can't share this live. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Lightroom 22 so you can catch that replay. I'm Marquita. Good night.